Now, I've been to one of these fora, not quite in the way in which it's being structured right now, and I know that you get together leading minds in corporate SA from different sectors, and they sit and they unpack over whiskey and cigars issues that are core to the future direction of this economy. Is this what you're doing?
Well, I don't know about the whiskies and cigars. I don't know if it quite go with my image, but we're definitely looking at how we can grow and mentor future leaders in South Africa. And I think it's very important that we have a responsibility to do so. Often you think you read from books that you're going to gain knowledge and experience, but it doesn't come out that way. You have to talk to people who have actually gone through the school fees, the learning that is part of our management criteria. And I think it's an opportunity for us and a lot of leading companies in South Africa to give back and show how we can grow the next level. And in fact, if I may, then it's going to be 3 generations this time, not 2, because we're taking in some head boys and head girls from various schools as well. So we've got a lot of people.
We'll talk about the proteges in a second. I mean, obviously you're setting the agenda and getting a sense of what issues are going to come to the fore. We're now in the post-2010 World Cup scenario, and many people are saying this country needs a vision. Is that what leaders are saying?
It needs vision, it needs dialogue. I think it's a two-way relationship. If we honestly think we're going to sit there and just preach, that's not going to be the case. The young minds that are coming to the table, that are coming up through South Africa, have their own opinions, have their own ideas. And I think we're going to be challenged as much as we're going to be able to talk. And I think it's about dialogue, it's about growing. And especially in the light of media, in light of where the internet is going, we as leaders are more and more open to discussion, more and open to questions. And we have to be prepared for these young proteges to ask us those questions, to say where is the direction, what are we doing, to take responsibility for some of our actions as well.
Okay, just in terms of the mix of CEOs, can you just tell us, without naming names, can you just tell us what sectors they're coming from?
Sure, they're coming from across. If I talk about real estate, if I talk about motor manufacturers, I talk about financial sectors. So we have a broad spectrum. Obviously communications, environments as well, of course. So it's across all sectors. So I believe that we'll be able to show how the decision principles are across all. The ethics, the honesty, the integrity should come throughout, in regardless of the sector or industry that you're in. And for us as MTN, the lead sponsor, we're looking forward to seeing that happen.
All right, let's talk about a little bit about MTN and the vision, because we're talking about identifying 24 emergent leaders, the young proteges, the head boys and the head girls and the leaders within the schooling system. MTN's got an outgoing CEO, and we're very curious in the media about who the successor would be. I know you won't tell me, I'm not that naive, but in terms of mentorship strategies, what example will MTN be playing in this particular initiative?
I think MTN has proven itself as being definitely a leader in Africa and South Africa. The 2010 World Cup and what happened there shows that we believe we have a responsibility to our continent as well as to the South African nation. We are very proud of the mentorship program we have internally, and I would like to extend that to people who don't have the opportunity to work for a company such as ours, or a company such as the ones who are going to be co-sponsoring and working with us. So it's an opportunity for us to take that out to young minds outside of the corporate sphere and to show them the opportunities. It's not just about future leaders, it's skills. We're very short on skills across all sectors in South Africa, and we have to show people that big business isn't a scary place. It's somewhere where you can grow as well as challenge, and MTN is very key in that.
Let's bring Andrew into this conversation. Skills deficit, skills deficit. We say it every day on CNBC, on Beyond Markets, and we're constantly looking for innovative ways of trying to address this particular issue. Mentorship is one way. What other ways are there? Government's got CETAs, they've got further education and training colleges, but we're somehow missing the ball. Why is that?
Sure, I think it's a sad indictment that South Africa is probably in the top third of countries globally in terms of educational spend per capita, and the results that we're seeing from that are very, very poor from a competitiveness point of view. And I think one of the challenges that CEOs, that business leaders have to deal with is skill shortage and educational outcomes in South Africa. And so, you know, something like this is a wonderful opportunity to look past business rivalries and to look past sectors and to say we face some common challenges, whether it's social disparities, whether it's skills, labor shortages and issues, those such things, and to use common knowledge and see how we address those going forward.
Okay, we know this is a forum for the proteges and the incumbent CEOs to interact. What happens post the Leadership Council? Is there a mentorship program that continues between protege and CEO?
Well, we're hoping that the CEOs who give up their time of that weekend will offer to continue to mentor the proteges, or even to offer their services elsewhere. We're very busy people, but as such we also know that you're quite right, that we have the skills shortage, and that we have to show people that there's opportunities, that there's approachability. And I think that's a very big thing in leadership nowadays, is to be approachable, to allow people to show that there's questions that can be asked and answered regardless of the level. So I'm hoping that we can encourage people to continue past the 3 days.
Earlier on I was asking what sort of issues are the CEOs bringing to the fore, and then you referred to the young ones. What sort of issues are they concerned about?
I think they're concerned about our future green environment, where we're taking the economy, the very things you discussed previously, such as globalization. Where are we fitting as Africa into the global environment? And what are we doing as leaders to position ourselves in Africa, and where to position ourselves globally? Quite rightly, they should be questioning us. They're questioning us as well as how are we going to grow the skills. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to be people who are going to be leading and having the problems and inherited issues that we have today, and I think we have to show that.
Yeah, I just think, one of the other issues that's come into the fore given the financial crisis we saw was around governance, and obviously this is going to be one of the big issues, is how does one compete, how does one cut through the red tape, but at the same time comply to governance and the standards, and see exactly how that's done.
I think ethical decision making is fundamental to who we are as leaders. I also believe that if we can't stand up and show the reasons for why we make business decisions, and that goes to the accountability, which is very much a portion of governance. So 100% with you there, and 100% with talking to the youngsters and saying how do they make those decisions.
All right, now this sounds like quite a localized initiative, and yet you have this expansive presence across Africa. Would you ever take this program beyond the boundaries and the borders of South Africa and start engaging CEOs in West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, and finding proteges from other parts of Africa?
I'd love this to be an example for the rest of Africa. I mean, I traditionally travel a lot into Africa for MTN, and I think it would be something that we as MTN would love to host elsewhere. I mean, the continent is something that's a passion for us. So if we could push this out, 100% looking forward to that.